Okay, and 2 minus 4 is going to be -2. Okay, there's not much steps I can give you on some of these. Okay, you either kind of know how to solve equations or you do not. Okay. What about number 3? What needs done? Times by 15 on both sides. What is -14 times 15? -210? Okay, number 5. Who's the kid? The 6. So we need to move him first. So we need to, how do I move that 6? Multiply both sides by 6. So we're going to say times 6 times 6. So I got 3 plus v equals -1 times 6 is -6. Then what? -3 on both sides. So we get v equals -9.
I apologize, Bulldogs. I forgot one announcement. We also want to wish a great good luck to our first game of the Unified Champions tonight. That basketball game is right after the JV. So we want to make sure to come out and support our Unified basketball team tonight and wish them luck. Thank you, and my apologies for my delay.
Okay, 7. What needs done first? What needs done first? Combine 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, so I'm going to get 4n plus 2 equals -2. Okay, then what? -2 from both sides. So I'm going to get 4n equals -4. And then divide by 4. So we're going to get -1. Okay, number 9, what needs done first? Distribute. So I'm going to get -1r, that's from here. Okay, -8 times -7, positive 56r. -8 times 2, -16 equals -456. Okay, then what needs done? Combine. Okay, so who can go together? The 1 and the 56. So that's going to give me -1 plus 56 is going to be 55r minus 16 equals -456. Okay, and then who needs moved? The -16, so we're going to say plus 16 on both sides. What is -456 plus 16? Somebody agree with that? -440? Okay, and then what needs done? Divide both sides by 55. I don't know what that is. 8? -8? Okay, 11, what needs done first? Who needs moved?
16.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the 16 needs moved. Why does he need moved? Yeah, so he should be over here with the 2. And then we're also going to say minus 1n on both sides. Okay, so the 16s can cancel and the n's can cancel. Okay, negative 5 minus 1 is going to be negative 6n. Negative 2 minus 16 is going to be negative 18. And then divide by negative 6. So we get n equals 3. Okay, the next section all have these bars. What do the bars mean? Anybody remember? They do mean absolute value. Okay, so on the bars, you should have 2 answers for every problem. Okay, 2 answers. Okay, now, on the side where the bars are, if we look at like 13, see how like everything on the left side of the equal sign, everything is like on the inside of the bars. Okay? Whereas in 15, see the AR and the 6 is on the inside of the bars. Look at 16. What is hanging on the outside of the bars on the left side? The 6. Okay, the 2, that's not on the left side. So the 6. So the 6 would have to get moved before you can set the second equation up, okay? Look at 17. Who is hanging on the outside of the bars? The 10, 18, the 2. Okay, all of those have to get moved first before we can. So if we look at 13, no one is on the outside of the bars. Okay, so your very first step is going to be, say, comma. And right now it says equals 16, so we're going to say comma equals negative 16. Okay, we take the answer, whatever it is, and say comma and make it a negative. Now if we're looking at the inside of the bars, what needs done? Divide both sides by negative 8. Okay, so you got to do it to all 3 pieces. Okay, 16 divided by negative 8. Negative 2, negative 16 divided by negative 8 is positive 2. Okay, are we always going to get the same answer every time? Like a 2 and a negative 2? No, you can get different stuff, so don't think that. Okay, 15, is there anything on the outside of the bars? No. So we can go ahead and say comma and make it a negative 58. Okay, well now if we're looking on the inside of the bars, what needs done? Minus 6 on both sides. Okay, so we're going to say minus 6, minus 6, minus 6. So I get AR equals, what is 58 minus 6? 52. Okay, negative 58 minus 6. Negative 64. Okay, and then what? Doing with the 8, what needs done? Divide by 8. Okay, I'm going to be honest. So, I don't know which way the answer is going to have to be on the test, if it's a decimal or a fraction. Okay, so we'll find out when we start doing it, but I'm betting that it's going to have to be a decimal. Okay, but so either way, make sure that you know how to convert. How do you convert it on the calculator from a decimal to a fraction, from a fraction to a decimal? SD. Okay, so if you look at your calculator right now, find that SD button, and it'll convert it from a fraction to a decimal and a decimal to a fraction. Okay, so what is 58 divided by 2? 6.5 or what? 13 over 2 or 6.5. Okay, so we're gonna go with 6.5 because I'm pretty sure it's a decimal, but I could totally be wrong. Okay, so make sure that you know how to do that part. Okay, negative 64 divided by 8. Negative 8. Okay, so these are our two answers for this one. Okay, 17. Is there anything hanging on the outside of the bars? The 10. Okay, so we have to move the 10 before we can say comma and make it a negative. Okay, so our very first step is going to be times 10 on both sides. Okay, and so what I'm left with is bar 8 minus 6n bar equals what? 40. Okay, and now if we're looking at it, is everything on the inside of the bars? Yes, and so now we can say comma and also put a negative 40. Okay, so we're going to say comma negative 40. Okay, and now if we're looking at it, who needs moved? First, the 8. Okay, so we're going to say minus 8, minus 8, minus 8. So I get negative 6n equals 40 minus 8. 32. Negative 40 minus 8. Negative 48. Okay, then what? Divide by negative 6 on every piece. Okay, so divide by negative 6, negative 6, negative 6. So we get n equals 32 divided by negative 6. Negative 5.3. Okay, negative 48 divided by negative 6. Negative 8. Positive 8. Okay, so again, what do the bars mean? How many answers should you have? 2. On every single one, you should have 2 answers. Okay? 19. 19 is going to be cross multiply and divide. Okay, so 19 you're going to times and times and then divide. Okay, so cross multiply and divide. It's that butterfly method. Okay, so 10 times 10, 100. 7 times x is 7x. Okay, and then what? Divide by 7. Okay, and what is 100 divided by 7? 14.2. Okay, 21, we're going to cross multiply, so 4 times 6 is 24. Okay, and then when we do this side, you got to do the 10 times both pieces. So 10 times k, 10k. 10 times negative 5 is negative 50. Okay, and then who needs moved? The 50. Okay, and then what? So it looks funny because the stuff is on the other side, but the steps are still the same. Okay, these guys are the kids. Yeah, it's just backwards is all. Okay, 24 plus 50. 74 equals 10k. Then what? Divide by 10. What is 74 divided by 10? 7.4. Okay, 23 is literal equations. All that's saying is solve for whatever letter that they tell you to. So if we look at 24, it says solve for what? X. What does 23 say? Solve for A. Okay? So what is next to A, or on the side that A is on? C. Okay, so how do I move something when they're right next to each other? Okay, and if we think about this, look at these two are right next to each other. How did I move it? We got to divide it. Okay, so we're going to divide by C. Well, anytime if I do it to one side, I got to do it to the other side. What happens to these two C's? Yeah, and if we look, the 10 and the 10, what happened to them? They canceled out. Okay, so it's the same thing. Okay, and so you're going to be left with A on this side, and it's just G over C on this side. Okay, 25. What are our magic numbers? Anybody remember? 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, so 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, so those are the only numbers you're allowed to circle, group, etc. Okay, so you can't pull them out into groups to go to Kroger, if you remember, unless they have a partner or something, but we can't circle like 2 10s. Okay, we can only circle 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, so 180, does 2 go in? So if you don't remember, we could say 180 and then divide it by 2. Does that work? Yes. Yeah, 2 and what? 2 and 90. Okay, and then we check the 90. 90 divided by 2. 45. 45 divided by 2. It doesn't work. How do you know it doesn't work? It gives you a fraction. We need a whole number. Okay, so if 45 doesn't work, what should you check next? Or 2 doesn't work, what should we check next? 3. 3 works. What is it? 3 and 15. Okay, and then when we do the 15, again, we start back with the 2. Does 2 go into 15? No. Does 3 go in? Yeah. Okay, 3 and 5. Okay, so who can go to the store? A group of 2s, okay, and a group of 3s. Okay, if they can go to the store, where do they go, on the inside or outside of the house? Outside. So we get 1, 2 for this group. Okay, 1, 3 for this group. Okay, can the 5 go? No. No, why not? He don't have his partner. He don't have a older sibling. So where's he gonna go? Back in the house. Okay, what do we do with this 2 and 3?
Times them.
We times them. So 2 times 3 is gonna give you 6. Square root 5. Okay, 28. We're going to get 2, 14. 2, 7. Okay, so who can go? A group of 2s are going to go on the outside. Can the 7 go? No, so he's going back on the inside. How many M's do I have total? What does it say? M what?
2.
2? Okay, so and my suggestion is to write them out. Okay, so I have 2 of them. So who can go? How many of them can go? 1 group of them can go. Where are they going to go? Outside. Okay, 32 is going to be 2 and what? 16. 2, 8. 2, 4. 2, 2. Okay, how many groups of 2s can go? 2. 1, 2. So what number is that going to give us on the outside?
2.
So think, how many would we put on the outside?
2.
2, and what would you do with them? Multiply them. So what number are you really gonna get on the outside? A 4. Okay, so 4, 2 on the inside. How many X's are there?
3.
There are 3. So 1, 2, 3. So how many of those guys can go? 1 group, okay, is gonna go on the outside. What about the leftover one? Back on the inside. Okay, and then there are 2 Y's. How many of those guys can go?
Outside.
1 on the outside. Good morning. I don't have your class graded yet, so you're gonna have to do it tomorrow. Okay? Thank you. Okay, 31 is times, you're gonna multiply the outsides together and times the insides together. Okay, so on this one, is there any outsides? No, okay, but there are insides. So 15 times 5, no, 15 times 5, so you gotta multiply those two together. What is 15 times 5? 75. And then we add the letters. It's gonna be X3. Okay, there's 2 on the first guy, 1 on the second guy. Okay. Okay, so some of you guys might need to know you need to times outside numbers times inside numbers, and then you add the letters. Okay, and then we're gonna simplify. Okay, so if you need notes, you better write them fast. Okay, or I'll go back to this. Okay, so 75. 75. What are factors of 75? 2 and 3 and 25? 5, 5. Okay, so who can go? 1 group of 5s. Who can't go? 3. Okay, and then I have 3 X's. How many of those guys can go?
1 group.
1 group. And 1 goes back on the inside. We got about 6 left. Okay, 33, we're gonna times the outsides together, so 4 times negative 5. Negative 20, and then we're gonna times the insides together, so 8 times 10 is 80. N2 plus an N2, N4. Okay, so my suggestion to you would be to drop the 20 down here and go ahead and put your bar. Okay, that way you don't forget to do that 20. Because a lot of people forget that if there's already a number on the outside, then that they need to put it down in their answer, okay, to do that times. So drop the 20 down. Okay, 80 is going to be 2 and 40, 220, 210, 25. Okay, so 2 groups of 2s can go. Can the 5 go? No. Okay, so we're gonna get a 2 and a 2 here, and a 5 there. Okay, and then I have 4 N's. How many of those guys can go? 2 groups. Okay, so you got N and N. So those guys are gonna go on the outside. Okay, and then you need to times all this stuff. So negative 20 times 2 times 2. What is negative 20 times 2 times 2?
Negative 80.
Negative 80. And then we got 2n, so it's gonna be n squared, square root 5. Okay, 35. You're just gonna do the top part and then the bottom part. Okay, so 4. What is the square root of 4? 2 and 2. So who can go? A group of 2s. Are they gonna go on the inside or outside? Outside. Who's left to go on the inside? Nobody. Okay, so it's just 2. Okay. Square root of 3. What does that reduce to? Okay, well, what are factors of 3? Does 2 go in? Does 3 go in? 3 goes in with what? 1. 3 and 1. So, who can go? Nobody. Okay, so square root of 3 is going to say square root of 3. Okay, and so this is reduced. Okay, each table represents a relation to determine the domain and range. Which one is the domain? The x's? Who's the range? Yeah, so the domain is going to be all the x's, the range is all the y's. Okay, and then there is one rule. What is that rule?
No repeating.
No repeating the x's. Okay, so, well, no repeating the x's or y's. So my domain is going to be -7, -5, -4, -3, -2. Okay, the range is going to be -2, 7, -1, 6, and 4. Oh, -4, sorry. Okay, and then it also says determine whether this is a function or not. How do we know if it's a function or not? If the x's repeat, is it a function or not? Then no, it's not a function. Okay, and what that really looks like is if we would have, we could say 1, 1 is the coordinate, and 1, 2. Okay, so it would be like this: 1, 1, 1, 2. Okay. We can't have any repeating x's, okay? So no x's are allowed to repeat. So, and do any of the x's repeat on this one? No, so then my answer is going to be yes, it is a function. Okay, so 38, we're going to write down the domain and range is going to be -7, -5, -2, 4, and 5. So as soon as you write down the domain, you can very quickly realize, is this one a function, yes or no? Yes, it is, because nothing repeats. Did we repeat any x's? No, and so this is going to be a yes. And then we can just write down the range, okay? -7, -7, 0, 3, and 3. Okay, so if you don't have to like cut any of the x's off and repeat them, okay, then it is a function. We got 3 left. Okay, each mapping diagram represents a relation. Determine the domain and range. Okay, so the domain is going to be just literally the list: -7, -3, 1, and 7. The range is -5, -1, 4, and 6. Okay, so you're literally just writing down the columns. Okay, is this one a function?
No.
Yes or no? No, why not?
Yes, it is.
There's two arrows coming from the three on, the -3 on the domain, okay? So it has two x's. Okay, so this one is gonna be a no, it's not a function. Okay, 43. Okay, the domain is gonna be all the x values, so we look up and down for the domain. Okay, so -7, 0, 3, 3, which we don't write down, and 7. So is this one a function? Are there two dots stacked on top of each other? Yes, there are, so no, it's not gonna be a function. So this one, my answer has to be no. Okay, and then the range we check this way, okay, the left and right. Okay, and that's gonna be at -5, 0, 1, 6, and 7. Okay, last one, 45. Determine if it's a function or not. Is this one a function?
Yes.
Okay, what test do you do?
No.
The vertical line test.
It's
So
not
you,
a function.
so this one is gonna be a no. What stretch would you say makes it a no? This right here, this -4, makes it be a no, because it's up and down. Okay? Okay, draw yourself a little squiggly or something. 1